Talk about leadership. A good buddy of mine, his name is Dusty Staub. He heads up Staub Leadership International. It's a management consulting firm. Focuses on human systems excellence. Dusty's background includes 40 years of helping leaders, teams, and organizations. He's the author of the book, The Heart of Leadership, 12 Practices of Courageous Leaders. Dusty Staub, welcome back to WBAP.
Thanks, Chris. It's a pleasure.
So, you're writing a book, or you've written a book about the heart of leadership. And when you look at Barack Obama, you have to see the antithesis of what you write about, I would imagine.
Unfortunately, that's true. The man promised an awful lot before he was elected the first time. And he came in as kind of an unknown, 2 years as a senator and community organizer before that, Harvard lawyer, trained. And he thought articulate, eloquent, have some doubts, no experience, but smart guy. Maybe he'll put really smart people around him who really know what they're doing. I'm afraid we've been very disappointed over the past 6 years.
I'm afraid we've been duped, and here's why. I have been developing this way of thinking over the last, I'd say, 48 hours. It's something that's always been in the back of my head, but seeing how he's handled this ISIS crisis, knowing that he knew of the ISIS development over a year ago and chose to do nothing, that now he's putting our troops back in harm's way in an effort to combat something he could have nipped in its infancy, and it could have been far less dangerous for our American troops to handle this, much less his idiotic decision to pull out of Iraq unilaterally and irresponsibly. That aside, I really believe that there's some kind of intent that maybe he is leading, but he's just leading not to the benefit of America, he's leading to the benefit of our adversaries.
Unfortunately, I think there may be truth in that. Here is the thing. He called ISIS the JV, the Junior League, even though his intelligence experts had said that months before, they had told him this was a very serious threat and a dangerous group. I think an image that comes to mind, I like Shakespeare a lot, is I think of Obama now as Hamlet. Equivocating, talking to himself, don't know who he's talking to now, and can't make up his mind, can't act. And Hamlet ended as a great tragedy with a lot of unnecessary deaths because of a man who lacked the courage to act. And without courage, there is no leadership. And I'm afraid our president has the courage to speak, but he doesn't have the courage to take action. He doesn't even back up his own promises and threats. And that's very, very dangerous on the global stage. It
sure is, because, heretofore we've just thought he was a clueless liberal who would get up there. Let me be clear. Yeah, all I got to do to solve this problem is to make a speech, and I'm going to make a speech, and it's done. We thought he was just that naive with his community organizing background, and he thought that he really honestly thought that's all it took to be president of these United States was get up there and make a speech, and it was all solved, and the underlings would handle everything. Don't bother me, I'm going to be on vacation now. But now I'm not so sure there is an intent behind this. And you're saying you think him as Hamlet. I'm kind of envisioning Faust at this point.
Well, a bargain with the devil. I think when you think about it, we have an eagle as an emblem for our nation, and Obama wants to talk like an eagle, but unfortunately he walks like a duck. And you have a duck trying to be an eagle, but with the inability or the unwillingness to back it up with the full strength and power that we do have. And that makes us look weak on the global stage. And it encourages bullies and tyrants like Vladimir Putin, like Bashar Assad in Syria, like ISIS. When you don't back up your actions, your own words, and you backtrack, all it says to our enemies is, hey, come pluck me.
Yeah, I'm a duck, pluck me. You know what? And by the way, we're talking with Dusty Staub. He is the head of Leadership International. It's a management consulting firm that focuses on human systems excellence. You said we had all prayed that Mr. Obama would surround himself with competent individuals. Well, we've got Secretary of State John Kerry. I'm not really at the top of my list of competent individuals, but here he is. This came down today. John Kerry was working behind the scenes, reaching out to Iran for help with ISIS. And then Iran tweets out, you know what? No, I just turned down the Secretary of State. And then John Kerry turns around and says, well, we will not be working with in any form or military cooperation with Iran, as if it was his idea, even though he was turned down by the Iranians. And oh, by the way, and he said, oh, but we're going to keep the back channels open. Really? With Iran? Really? This is astonishing to me.
Well, you know, there's an issue. Kerry may have more courage than our president, but he seems to be showing a serious lack of judgment. You know, you can be foolish and make mistakes, but if you seriously lack judgment and understanding who you're dealing with and what you're dealing with, and you give openings like that to a country like Iran, that's just another sign of, bad judgment, if not outright incompetence.
Here's Charles Krauthammer earlier on the Fox News channel. Dusty, listen to this. This is the litany of Mr. Kerry's accomplishments. I'm saying that with air quotes. Accomplishments so far during his tenure as Secretary of State.
Well, this will be called the coalition of the unwilling. Kerry has not had a very good record with international conferences. He called two to depose Assad, and they broke up in disarray. He had innumerable meetings in Europe with the Russian foreign minister over Ukraine.
Well, that thing kind of went south in a hurry. Anyway, basically he starts going down this whole litany of failures with Ukraine, with what was going on throughout Mr. Kerry's tenure so far as Secretary of State, and how he has failed at every turn with Iranian diplomacy, with the brokerage between peace with Hamas and Israel and the Palestinian Authority. That fell apart. It's just been one misstep after another with these folks, and there's no leadership there, and that's a consequence. Dusty Staub, man, I really appreciate you carving out time to us tonight on the Chris Crock Show here on WBAP. We'll check in with you again, sir.
Great, Chris. Great talking to you.
The name of the book is The Heart of Leadership, 12 Practices of Courageous Leaders.